in a way nobody could have expected or anticipated. With Dr. Sloan in the trailer pressing this button, disabling builds for a limited time, what so it seems could be made permanent, which we're going to be revealing later in the video. Amongst all the brand new content such as map changes, vehicles, bosses, everything just in the new season, you name it, we have a bunch of secrets to go over in this video, as you can see by the title, which are completely crazy. And to give you guys a perspective on how many they are or how different they are, let's just say we have everything from XP glitches, looting methods, destroying the entirety of Tilted in minutes, to the location of a captured Klombo, why they disappeared, and how this perhaps is integrated into the storyline. I already know that sounds good to 99.9% of you, so if you fit that criteria, sit back, relax with your favourite snacks today, do yourself a favour, stick around, watch the full video. Those hoodie secrets, so make sure, of course, you don't go anywhere.
I'm sitting on my back.
Okay, so speaking of new content at the start of the video, despite Season 2 release, and of course Epic Games aren't slowing down, and as you can see from the background right now, the battle buses have finally been implemented for the first time as a vehicle we can drive after 5 years of us flying over a Fortnite island, jumping out of them onto a map. Despite it being no secret that these things are currently rare to find, as one I believe is only located right here at the Sanctuary every time in game as a spawn location, a secret that you guys need to know about these vehicles is that they can not only loot an entire name location very fast by destroying all of the buildings with the ramming structure on the front permanently, but in doing so at the same time from the milestone quest, as you can see there's a lot of destroying structure ones right here for 7k XP each. You can do multiple of these in the exact same game, getting you up many levels. As you can see right now, I'm level 119, and with the brand new modification of this ramming thing on the front of cars that you can throw on being in game right now, this doesn't just mean that you can only use the battle buses to actually loot an entire name location such as Tilted, which as you can see I'm doing in a normal car right now in the replay footage. Of course in the core base modes right now, with building being disabled, solos, duos, trios and squads, with it being faster to loot an entire building by having it destroyed and then all of the loot fall down, perhaps this is a safer way too in the likes of the battle bus or even a tank. But yeah, the battle bus is faster, and don't forget more sturdy than just a normal car with this ram thing on the front. But of course on the flip side of that, no pun intended for the state of the Chapter 3 island or how we got here anyways, let's say you're already sick of the no building and you actually want it reverted, unlike many people or influencers across social media who actually think the game is more fresh and fun to play. With it not being a permanent thing as of now, the no builds, meaning tactical overshield also will be removed in the set amount of days Epic Games have it planned to stay. Of course you can not only build in other LTMs right now such as Team Rumble, but speaking of LTMs, it looks like they're making these core modes, solos, duos, trios and squads, different no build LTM modes in the future due to the feedback again that they've been receiving about this innovative move. Don't get me wrong, I love the no build system, it makes Fortnite feel fresh in my opinion, but something annoying right now in game are the tanks, considering they kind of seem very hard to counter. But in terms of our third secret moving on, is a brand new countermeasure for the tanks being this amber launcher that's soon going to be upcoming in game in all the rarities you're seeing on screen right now, and will look like this that data miners have managed to find early when we use it in game destroying structures. Basically this is just like a fancy RPG. Instead of point A to point B, it goes up in the sky and then drops on whatever structure we've designated it to do so on. It's more than likely we're going to be seeing an update very early April, considering the Enlightened styles, meaning the bonus rewards for getting all the way to level 200 being the max one we can unlock anyways, are revealed very soon, or next week should I say. And of course to get to level 200 quicker in terms of completing your milestone quest, the trick we already discussed will get you there that little bit much quicker involving the vehicles. But speaking of vehicles, in case you're wondering why this gravestone-like structure is located on the Chapter 3 island right here, which we know from the past to represent big or funny events, such as not only this from a YouTuber trying to help another player in Chapter 1 but knocking him off the island into the water at Paradise Palms, in Chapter 2 with somebody trying to dive off this waterfall but then hitting builds that people had made so they ensured their immediate death. Well, now in Chapter 3 it's safe to say this spot's earned its particular gravestone structure due to, well, this clip in the background right now of somebody literally going through the map in a vehicle and then dying because of it. And of course the clip you've been seeing being the exact event that inspired this to be actually put here in the first place by Epic Games. Let me know out of Chapter 1, 2 and 3 which is your favourite in terms of what caused these gravestones to appear in the first place as a memorial to something stupid or silly that happened in game. Speaking of silly things involving vehicles, with a particular piece of wildlife that literally just gets swept over and we take for granted now in Fortnite, it wouldn't even notice if it did get faulted due to the scarcity of them. If we go in one of the brand new tanks toward a shark and it attacks us, supposedly this will happen in a small or completely huge form, as you can see from Glitch King's clip in the background right now. Whilst we're talking about silly things to do with vehicles, a silly vehicle or transportation method in itself that will be returning this season in a more overpowered form than ever before is the Baller. As you can see, Hypex stated the following: Fortnite are working on a new Baller vehicle. The HP of these new ones is 400. The old one's HP was 300 but then got nerfed to 150 to 200 during the World Cup era. For those who don't know, these came about in Chapter 1 Season 8 for the first time, and obviously the World Cup took place in Chapter 1 Season Season 9. I'm guessing these are going to be the new meta for moving around the map incredibly fast, replacing what is now vaulted being Spider-Man's mythic web shooters, but maybe perhaps not forever, as of course in the item shop we've just seen the release of the Mary Jane skin, and with Prowler appearing as the coming soon or unlockable skin literally halfway or 50% way through the season, being from the Spider-Man universe or Miles Morales' uncle, with there also being all of the webs still around the map and the Daily Bugle still standing, being literally a Spider-Man based location in itself. Who's to say that these won't be returning even this season? Imagine that, ballers and mythic web shooters in the same game in the final circle, swinging around in various different ways. That would be absolutely insane looking. Speaking of Mary Jane though, just being a recent skin out of the Spider-Man universe, or one of them anyways, to come to the item shop, as you can see FNBR Intel reminded us over on Twitter that the Ton emote is still in the files when Season 2 released anyways, or literally right now, and he wonders if this is ever going to release, with it looking like this when played. And also, of course, if you're not familiar with the Tunuk dance, here is a real life comparison as to the emote, what it was based off or inspired from in Fortnite. This on top of the fact too that Hypex stated right here that airstrikes are soon going to be returning. Who knows what the Chapter 3 island's going to be looking like, especially now with this war wage between the Imagined Order and the Seven. As for these new stats, of course, here you can see them on screen. Build/building damage changed from 200 to 400, player damage changed from 75 to 60, new vehicle damage 240, rocket speeds increased, rocket amount reduced from 30 to 20, and range slightly increased for when we obviously throw one of these markers. Of course, the airstrikes have been a previous feature in Fortnite way before Season 2 of Chapter 3 ever released, but speaking of things we've known about before the release of Chapter 3 Season 2 in itself, particularly being a skin that's now not being talked about with the introduction of the brand new Battle Pass with all the skins including Doctor Strange, despite the fact we've seen the introduction of the brand new Save the World starter pack for Chapter 3 Season 2, we're yet to see at the time of me recording this video the Zoe Clash starter pack for Battle Royale, which costs $4.99 or £3.99. Within this, we not only get all the cosmetics on screen right now, being, the skin, the battling, the harvesting tool, and also a very cool looking wrap alongside 600 V-Bucks, making it worth it in itself for this price of $5 or £4. Again, we could have all seen this starter pack come in and known about it before the release of Chapter 3 Season 2, but nobody's talking about it. And speaking of something that nobody saw coming, however, or are perhaps talking about, is the disappearance of Klombos on our Fortnite island. These beloved animals were only with us for literally one season of this third chapter until, well, now anyways, when people have managed to pull them back into the game early on private servers. Despite none of these being physically available for the public to view right now, how cool does this look, and how cool would they be on the Chapter 3 Season 2 island with the war going on between the Imagined Order and the Seven, all the new vehicles or structures such as blimps and tanks, and even soon with the upcoming Seven helicopter, which we're going to be able to fund just like the battle bus. It's safe to say in terms of the destruction that they could cause, they would fit right in with this brand new theme. As for the disappearance of these though, it sadly makes sense based off everything I'm about to show you guys, such as not only the skeletal structure in this loading screen of an IO drill underneath the ground, as you can see it looks like a Klombo skull or remains or skull, but also, as you guys know, in the prior season, Chapter 3 Season 1, with the spawn location of Klombos potentially where they do spawn or permanently spawn anyways. If we compare that to the Chapter 3 Season 2 island, as you can see there seems to be craters in these locations, as if the IO has seen the Klombos, even despite how friendly they are if we don't disturb them, as a threat, and for that reason wiped out their particular inhabitant or location. Of course, with the addition of Klombos originally last season, Chapter 3 Season 1, Epic Games tweeted out that if anybody were to harm the Klombos, they'd have to wipe out the entirety of Tilted, which we thought was implying they're going to be destroying Tilted Towers instead of, well, removing Klombos the next season. Drop a like in the video down below right now if you want Klombos to return.